Okay, so I had a lot of fun with this new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day. I watched the first showing of it today. It was at 1:15, so nobody else had seen it yet except for the people that watched it on Wednesday. And I've got to say, yeah, I had fun. It's definitely a Spider-Man film, but it's also not. It's too MCU. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't watched it already, go ahead and click off or scroll off, whatever you're watching it on. Um, yeah, this is it was really good, but I have issues with Jean Grey being in the film and uh other minor things with uh with other MCU characters that don't really have anything to do with Spider-Man himself. Like the hand. See, okay. I liked when the hand was in the movie. Like, their fight scene was so good. It was so fun to watch. It's just like, this is not the hand. If you've watched Daredevil Season 2, you know what I'm talking about. They're like actually ninjas in that show. They're fighting for a reason. This movie. Oh god. Okay. This movie whittles them down to corporate, like, government security. It makes no sense to me. Like, this is. I've said this so much, but this is not the hand. That is my biggest gripe with this movie. Jean Grey, too. The guys over on Escape Podcast already talked about this, but they made Jean too evil. They made her almost unredeemable. Yes, she was looking for her sister, which the DODC killed. And I get some of the things she does, but also looking for just going after Spider-Man himself just like doesn't really make sense, because at the beginning of the film we see Spider-Man stop Jean. Stop in quotations. You can't really see me, but they make Jean blow up a building with people inside of it just because. Let me say that again. They make Jean blow up a building just because. She is the main villain of this film. The Jean Grey that we know from the X-Men is the main villain of this film. Why is that? I can't really tell you why. Like I said, this is a Spider-Man film that isn't Spider-Man. That probably makes no sense. It's probably not gonna make any sense, like rewatching this video while editing. But what the fuck? Like, Scorpion was the main state in the trailers. So was Hulk. Yeah, and the Hand was in there too. He doesn't fight the Hand until like the last 15 minutes of the film. I'm a little disappointed about that. I mean, like, you showed too much. They showed so much in the trailers. I could only imagine what it would have been like if they didn't show like, imagine they didn't show Bruce Banner in the trailers, like in his banner form. Imagine they didn't show him. Imagine that college scene when Peter walks in to Professor Banner's class. Like, that would have been fucking crazy. Let alone later in the film when Jean uses Smart Hulk in the DODC building. That would have been crazy. Holy shit. Savage Hulk. This is the greatest Marvel movie of all time. Nope! We're gonna show all of that in the trailer and make it Jean the main villain. Yeah, the Jean that you know from the X-Men, the good guy on the X-Men. I mean, she is a morally gray character, especially with the Phoenix, which is not a part of this film. Making her that evil without the Phoenix is crazy to me. One of my favorite scenes in the movie involves Jean being that evil, but it's still a problem to me. The scene that I'm talking about is the rooftop scene. When Spider-Man finally goes to Zendaya after the house party, he says, "Look, you need to come with me. You're in danger." It's the middle of the day, by the way. He goes to get MJ. Next time we cut, it's the middle of the night. Like, what the fuck? So they were just swinging around for hours? And then... Oh, no. Apparently the whole time MJ was Jean Grey. But you don't know that until she pulls the most heinous thing I have ever seen a telepath do in these Marvel films. She controls MJ to get into Peter's mind, convincing him that MJ still remembers him, forcing herself onto Peter and forcing Peter onto MJ. It's so fucking evil that, like, I do not see redemption for this Jean Grey. She did all of this because the DODC, which Spider-Man had no idea, like, who was lying to him, killed her sister. Spider-Man had nothing to do with that, but she went out of her way to emotionally manipulate him just because! This Jean Grey is not redeemable whatsoever. I really do have a huge problem with that. With how much I love the film as a new Marvel film, and oh god, this is another rant. This is the only good Tom Holland Spider-Man film. Even though Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, he has had the worst films imaginable for Spider-Man. No Way Home. I rewatched that literally yesterday before I watched the new one. Let me tell you something. That movie is dog shit. Until the other Spider-Man came into the film. Their dynamic, all three of them together, so good. Oh, sorry about that. Their dynamic together is so good in that movie. That is the only good thing about that movie. Except for the mind-wiping spell. Only good thing. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm messing around with my microphone because we were promised a ground level Spider-Man, but you introduce the most important thing in a Spider-Man ground level film. You're really going to introduce the mainline mutants, the X-Men characters, fucking Jean Grey, in a Spider-Man film. And yeah, I get it. Yeah, Spider-Man is a big part, of the X-Men. They're big friends, pretty much. Sometimes. We didn't need this whenever we were promised a street-level Scorpion Spider-Man film with Tombstone being hidden. It was just like a little cameo. Tombstone. They were making it such a big deal. Oh, Ronnie Lincoln is gonna be in this movie. What's his face? Marvin Jones III is playing Lonnie Lincoln. Tombstone. I was so excited for a Tombstone Spider-Man live-action movie. The fact that they were hiding him from the trailers, I was excited. I was really hoping for, Scorpion and Tombstone to be the villains. Tombstone doesn't even get 1 minute of screen time. Let that sink in. Scorpion appears in 3 scenes. One 15-second scene, one scene where he's in a prison jumpsuit, and one scene being controlled by Jean Grey. We don't even get an actual fight with the real Scorpion. This is a good movie by Marvel standards. This is a good movie by Tom Holland Spider-Man standards. This is not the Spider-Man we were promised. This is MCU Spider-Man all over again. We're setting up mutants for the next 2 movies. Yeah, the next movie is Avengers Doomsday. A movie where mutants and our heroes are the main characters. We're just now introducing mainline mutants in our universe 4 months ahead of Doomsday in a Spider-Man film. Oh, there's also a there's okay. Talking about the post-credit scene now. It's just a fucking Doomsday spoiler. Like, are we gonna scrape over that? I mean, I cannot lie. Whenever I walked out of the theater, I was so hyped up about that post-credit scene that I rated this a 9.9. But now that I've cooled off and thought about the post-credit scene, I thought about the movie, thought about everything about it, it's dropped down to like an 8. And honestly, I would give The Amazing Spider-Man 2 a 9. Let that sink in. Everyone's least favorite. Well, not everyone. A lot of people like it, including me. That's a whole nother rant that I might squeeze in right here. Is better than this movie. I could go on and on about TASM 2. TASM 2 is an actual Spider-Man film. This is not. My biggest problem is the advertising. And Jean Grey. Like, why? Why do you make her irredeemable when she is going to be the main Jean Grey after Secret Wars? I do not have. I just cannot baffle how evil they made Jean Grey in this movie. Like, yeah, the Phoenix did terrible things. Worse, I mean, yeah, the Phoenix was way worse than Jean in this movie. Base Jean. Honestly, like, at this point, I wouldn't mind if they pulled some Madeline Pryor bullshit with cloning. Like, I would be fine with cloning at this point, with how evil they made her. Like, I haven't even talked about Yelena. She was like the best part of the film. Funniest part. I love Florence Pugh. She actually played a pretty good role in this film. But, like, it's too MCU-ified to be the Spider-Man we were promised. And I have my issues. They're just minor ones. I have my issues with the MJ and Ned stuff. That, it's just, nah. It's just me. But everything else about the marketing and Jean fucking Grey. Yeah, no, I can't. End video.